Southeast AgNet.
Thank you, Kathy. 17 minutes before 12 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. It's Friday. It's a beautiful day. There is rain in the forecast, believe it or not. The weatherman, however, doesn't seem to think it's going to rain till this evening, and it should be done before the morning. So, hey, that's the way we want it, right? We want the rain to happen while we're sleeping. Let me see if I can do a real quick actual read of the weather forecast for you instead of me paraphrasing it like that. 79 right now, 79 degrees. There is a 67% chance it will be raining this evening, like 8 o'clock or so. And then it drops right after that. So looks like we'll have some rain tonight, and it'll be gone by the time you wake up, unless you're a night worker.
Yeah.
And then the weekend looks nice. 77 the high for Saturday, 81 for Easter Sunday, partly cloudy both days.
Yep.
All right. So what is
Morning.
Good morning. What is the one, not the one thing, but what is one of the main things that people want from religion? This is a religious holiday, right?
Yes.
One of the main things is they want to have some hope for death. They want to have some hope that when we die, there is an afterlife, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, if you can... Let's just assume there is. I don't want to be presumptuous. I'm not God. And it says in the Bible, don't bear false witness, so I don't want to tell you I know there is. Mm-hmm. So I would be lying if I said I knew, right? But I believe there is.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you can really communicate or hear people who are still living. I don't know. But what would you think if you went to heaven, right? And you overheard somebody saying, she was the nicest person I ever knew. Wouldn't that be a cool thing to hear?
Yeah, that'd be really nice.
They wouldn't be saying, she was the richest person I ever knew. Mm-hmm. Or he wasn't the best dressed person I ever knew. None of those would mean as much. If I was in heaven and I heard somebody say, Larry was the nicest person I ever knew, I would say, whoa, Peter, come here. Did you hear that?
Yeah, right.
I'm assuming Peter would be there.
He'd be your bud. You bond.
Peter, I can get in, right? All right, so let's talk about that. Who is the nicest person you have ever known? Who is that person? Is it somebody alive? Somebody who's passed away?
Mm-hmm. Oh, gosh, yeah, that's a good question, because I know a lot of nice people. My mother, I'll say, for one. Everybody thinks my mom was the nicest person they've ever known. She's really amazing.
Yeah, your mom is a really nice person. So what do you think? I do agree. Yeah, your mom's
but I mean, who do you have?
It's hard for me not to say my mom.
Exactly.
And my grandmother. Mm-hmm. I mean, my mother's mother. My father's mother too. I mean, they were all nice. Mm-hmm. They were really nice. All right, so I want to tell you some of the answers other people have had with this question.
Okay.
All right, who is the nicest person you've ever known? And what made them so nice? So the first person who answered the question was a person named Mark, and he said, my mom.
Okay.
He said she's helping almost all members of our family for almost all of her adult life. Sometimes I think it's too much because people may get addicted to this help and not appreciate it as much. Yet she still does it.
There you go.
Also, she is a fantastic mother to me. I have always been completely open with her. She knows all my secrets because she is the closest person/friend I have, and she will help me no matter what. She is an incredible human being. So this person said mother, my mother.
It's like TJ and Shannon. I mean, they give you the shirts right off of their backs. You know, they're always out there.
For those who don't know,
that's my two children. Alex, your son. He helps.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Without being asked. And I think that qualifies a person, because if you have to ask somebody to help, that means they don't really recognize you need help. So it's the people that are offering their help before you ask them.
The next person answered this way. The nicest person I've ever known is my friend Sam. We worked together for over 30 years as police officers. And even after we retired from that, we still work part-time together at a job. Let me tell you a little bit about Sam. He is the most optimistic person I have ever met. Sometimes I want to strangle him. Just kidding. To Sam, the Chicago team will win the World Series, Super Bowl, or Stanley Cup. Go Blackhawks every season. Regardless of how crappy the outlook may be, every cloud has a golden lining. He is always happy and cheerful.
There you go.
He was one of the people who started a charity organization in my town which arranges for presents and other financial help for poor families or families undergoing serious hardships. He worked with that charity for almost 20 years.
Gosh.
He's giving of himself. He helps anyone and everyone. He is tireless in his zeal to help even total strangers in need. Sam suffers in silence. His son was a U.S. Marine who served tours in Iraq and in Afghanistan. I asked him once how his son was doing, and Sam teared up and thanked me for asking.
Oh.
But he asked that I do not mention his son's name again because he was so worried about him. He and I ran the Marine Corps Marathon in Washington, D.C. to honor his son, who thankfully returned from his service unharmed.
Thank God.
Now and then
thank
Sam will tell me, don't make any plans for next Saturday. I'm taking you somewhere, and it's a secret, and I'm paying. I always get suspicious, but he lets my wife in on the secret. So when Saturday rolls around and he picks me up, off we go to who knows where. But it's always a destination that he knows I'll like. He knows I have an interest in astronomy. The picture that I've posted online to show is when we drove to Wisconsin to visit Yerkes Observatory. It was a great day.
Oh, nice.
And there he is right there.
Wonderful.
That's his friend Sam. Okay. So who is the nicest person you know? I got another answer for you.
There you go. I like it.
The nicest person I know is my friend Jean Ann. I am so glad you asked me this question because I have never written before about how nice she really is. We met when we were both cast in a community theater production of Carousel. We have been friends for over 30 years. In our younger days, we traveled together a lot. One of the best ways to find out what a person is really like is to go on a long trip.
Yep.
Jean Ann. What? You and I went on a long trip.
Yeah, we did. We survived.
train.
We were good. Yeah.
It did not destroy our friendship.
No, it did not. It was good.
Jean Ann is a wonderful companion. She is interested in people and how they live. She's a fascinating conversationalist. She is hilarious and has a wonderful sense of absurd.
Oh, I like that.
I like that twist. I thought I was going to say humor.
Yeah, wonderful sense of
And
the
she's up
absurd.
for anything. If I want to stop and tour a crayon factory or try panning for gold, she's right there beside me asking the tour guide how they think up all those names for crayon colors.
That's cool.
Or figuring out where to buy gold panning equipment. We have roughed it in a rustic lodge with no electricity when it rained the entire weekend and got drunk on moonshine while we played cards by candlelight. When touring Glacier National Park, Jean Ann made up a silly name for bear grass, genus Q tipulus, and almost got gored trying to get a photo of a mountain goat.
Oh my gosh.
It goes
Wow.
on. It goes on and on. This one, she's written a mini novel about her friend Jean Ann. So
Nice. I hope she printed that out and framed it and gave it to her as a gift.
I'm telling you, this is you are right where I wanted to go.
Oh.
I don't want to wait until I'm in heaven standing next to Peter to find out that somebody thinks I'm the nicest person they've ever known.
Yeah.
And I'm not asking anybody to tell me that. I'm just saying that you tell somebody that. Find somebody, for Easter, I'm not trying to be a preacher here, but for Easter, in addition to the candy and the eggs and whatever else you do, hand somebody an envelope. And in that envelope, have this letter written. Said, you know what? The guy on the radio said, who's the nicest person you know? And you came to mind.
Nice.
The guy
I
on the
like
radio
that.
was reading what other people said about the nicest people they know. And so it made me think about you. And I wanted to write this to you.
Nice. I like that a lot.
You wanna hear
That's
another
great.
one?
Yes, I do. I love this.
This lady says, my husband's grandfather is the nicest person I know. He is seriously the sweetest little thing in the entire world. I don't even know his real name. My husband and his sister call him Dad, and everyone else calls him Bud. I call him either one, and he smiles the most precious smile in the world. Bud is around 85 years old. He still mows the lawn, tends to their garden, and does any heavy work that needs taken care of at the house. Some trees got blown over in their yard a few weeks ago, and I was amazed when I saw pictures of him out there with a chainsaw. He would have it no other way. He and Charlie's grandma, Nan, I don't know her real name either, have been married since the beginning of time.
There you go.
I do find it hard to believe that life took place before the two of them met, and when you see the two of them with each other. Bud used to work at Ford, as I hear. He worked long hours at the Ford Motor Company, lots of overtime. He had to. Not only did he raise his own family, he raised Charlie and his sister, Charlie's cousin, and he paid for the bills for Nan's sisters. He did this unbegrudgingly. He loves his family. That's his job, to take care of them. And Bud will never walk through a door before a woman.
There you go.
He's disgusted when he sees another man enter the room before a lady. He's jumped on Charlie for walking in front of me on the walkway in their house.
Good for him.
Nan even told me that Bud said he's going to mess around and lose that one. In Bud's book, not following the strict Hills of Kentucky gentleman code is enough for a wife to leave her husband. Yep, Bud is from Kentucky. Hazard, Kentucky. His little voice has that Kentucky twang to it. Sometimes he'll tell us crazy stories about where he grew up and the things that were acceptable there. He loves to hear us laugh at his silly stories, and his little eyes squinch up as he giggles after he's told them, and it goes on and on from there.
Nice.
There.
Oh, there's a picture.
There's Bud and Nan in the younger
of the
days.
couple.
So again, I think this is the idea. The idea is tell somebody you love when you see them on Easter or tonight, maybe Passover, whatever it is you do. Maybe you're an atheist. You're just going to celebrate April Fool's Day or something.
Yeah, right.
whatever it is. I heard the guy on the radio. He was asking this question. Who is the nicest person I know?
Yeah.
And he made this statement that, what if you didn't hear this until you died? And the guy on the radio said, I don't want to wait till I die. I want to hear it now.
Yeah.
And I'm not speaking for Larry. I'm speaking for you to think about the person that this makes sense about.
Yeah, I think that's, I reflect, and things happen and people die, and then you don't tell them while they're here.
Don't tell them you wrote it.
You appreciate
don't tell them you wrote it
know?
because you're wondering they might not ever hear it when they die. Don't include that part.
Yeah, right.
Just say, hey, this guy on the radio was asking who's the nicest person I know. Other people wrote in to the website that it was reading from, which is Quora, by the way, Quora.
Okay.
Okay. So other people wrote in, and I don't know if those other people ever read these letters, but I want you to read this one.
Yeah, there you go.
So here's my envelope. It's to you. I want you to know this is how I feel about you.
And put a stamp on it and put it in the mail.
Why?
And then, well, you can do that.
Yeah,
too.
maybe you can do that, too.
If you're shy, and don't want to, think that, maybe they'll think it's silly. Put it in an envelope. Don't send it in an email, and mail it.
Nicest person I know. I got one more. Ready?
Okay.
The nicest person I know is a former vice president for academic affairs at my college. And she managed to be very nice while also being smart, competent, and by no means a pushover. She seemed to know what everyone was doing. And I say this in the most constructive way and not at least in a gossipy, malevolent sense of the phrase. She was very positive and warm towards people and used to send us very personalized, encouraging cards once or twice a year. Somehow, you wanted to be your best self around her. At a campus event, she saw me looking flustered. She came up to me and asked why. I told her that I had locked myself out of my office and was getting late, and a few days away from finals. She promptly went home and brought her master key so that I could open up my office. When she learned that I was moving to a new apartment, she dropped by with her husband and helped me for a while on a weekday.
Oh.
She was not selectively nice towards people. She treated everyone with decency and dignity. She got to know that woman doing a clerical job in one of our offices was finally getting her associate's degree after taking classes for a long time and undergoing an acrimonious divorce in the meanwhile. The woman was not particularly interested in participating in the graduation ceremony, but the VP had walked over to her office, held her by the hand, said, "We need to get you a cap and gown," and walked with her to the bookstore to sign up for the regalia.
Oh, you're giving me chills.
There you go.
I mean, gosh, these are all, you're giving me chills
All
about
right.
all of them. I got these real goosebumps.
So think about it. Here's your Easter gift.
There
You're
you
not
go.
going to have a nicer Easter gift.
No, you're not.
You're going to have an envelope. You have a pastel-colored Easter envelope.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
There you go.
In that envelope, have a letter to somebody, and it says, you You are the nicest person I know. I want you to know about it. Here's why. I remember when, and then fill it in.
How easy is that?
I remember when we did this and you did that.
Yeah.
I remember when I was down in the dumps and you came over and sat with me. I remember when I was home alone and you came over with a cup of coffee and
Yeah.
some bagels.
Exactly. I love that. Gosh, you're leaving me so emotional here.
Am I?
Yeah, I got goosebumps. I mean, they're all over the place.
All right. Well, on that note, thank you for listening. Have a great holiday weekend, everybody.
Yeah.
We are done for the week. We'll see you on Monday. Glenn Beck is coming up in just a little bit. Happy Easter. Happy Passover. We'll see you on Monday.
The College of Central Florida is committed to being your first choice for quality higher education. CF has locations in Marion, Citrus, and Levy counties and offers more than 60 academic programs. Earn a certificate, associate, or bachelor's degree. With Florida's 2+2 program, a student can complete an associate in arts at CF and be guaranteed admission to a state of Florida university. CF is ranked number 13 in the U.S. for affordability, is military friendly, and offers a full student life experience. Make CF your first choice. Call 352-873-5800.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. The widow of the Pulse nightclub shooter found not guilty of lying